40 buffalo wings.
40 buffalo wings.
What's going on, everyone? My name's Gavin, and I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm 40 buffalo wings. Yeah, I'm gonna be eating 40 buffalo wings today. But yeah. What else is there to say? I'm gonna be eating a lot of food. Now in order to eat this serious amount of wings, I had to build up a pretty serious appetite. Anyways, the wings that I'm going to be eating today, I have gotten from a nice little place called Luxury Limshil Cheese Pizza. Apart from eating all these buffalo wings, I'm going to be going through a little bit of the history of how buffalo wings, as we know them now, came to be. All right, so the venue for today's meal is going to be my very, very lovely dorm room. And that being said, cheers. Oh, that tastes good. While I'm doing all of this, I am going to be watching Star Wars in the meantime, so you get a show, I get a show, and a meal. We're all happy. I'm going to be a little bit more happy than you because I'm watching Star Wars and eating a meal, but, Here come the first 10, all right? First wing in the video. Cheers. This is going to be light work. Now, the thing about the phrase buffalo wings is that, well, at least from English to Korean and Korean to English, there is no direct translation between the two languages. When Americans want to talk about buffalo wings, they talk about buffalo wings. When Korean people want to talk about buffalo wings, they'll talk about buffalo wings. The only thing that changes is, obviously, the spelling. And in Korean, it's just going to be a phonetic version of buffalo wings in English. All right, so this is wing number 10. I'm feeling pretty good. A lot of protein, love that. Now, my impressions of this are, I will not lie, I did get back, a good bit after I had gotten this order of wings. So, the skin is no longer crispy, but I will tell you what, the meat itself still is very juicy. Now, I will say, I grew up in New Jersey, New York area, right? I've had myself a good buffalo wing or two. And this isn't that bad. I'm not gonna lie. The sauce is a little bit sweeter for my taste. Not as spicy as I'd like it to be, but I do have a solution for that right over here. I have a bottle of bulldog sauce right over here that I'm gonna be putting on probably the remainder of these wings. If it were like a traditional buffalo sauce, then I probably wouldn't be putting it on. Excuse me. But yeah, if it were traditional buffalo sauce, I probably wouldn't be putting it on over here. However, this is different enough where I'm okay with putting it on because, I like spicy food a lot. Now, the first iteration of what we know as hot wings today was created back in the 19th century and was then known as deviled bones. Now, this recipe used any joint or bone meat left over from a previous meal, not necessarily chicken, and was then prepared by broiling the meat with ingredients such as mustard, salt, cayenne pepper, and mushroom ketchup. Now, mushroom ketchup is another interesting food item that I have tried making myself, and I will say, whereas it doesn't taste very good on its own, it does make for a very good barbecue sauce, salsa, and Worcestershire sauce substitute. Okay, so I am about halfway through. I have the 20th wing right over here. I am getting pretty full. I feel pretty good. I can definitely keep going, but this next 20 is going to be a bit of a challenge. And I figured that we're at a point where I will show you how I like to eat my wings. Not even like a real American, right? Now what I do is, if you'll see over here, general wing structure, I will get a very good grip on the two bones. I love flats, not a big drumstick guy. So I'll get a very good grip on these two bones right over here on one end. Excuse me. Excuse me again. And once I have that good grip, I'll put the entire thing in my mouth and just go to town. And just like so, there is no longer any meat on this bone, except for this little bit right here. No meat on any bone. I clean my wings. I ain't no sissy. I eat all the protein. I get it all. Anyways, on to the third box. Now, the next iteration of hot wings had come a century later in 1961 and were popularized by an Alabama-born man named John Young through the opening of his first restaurant in Buffalo, New York. Now, what made Young's wings so popular was the fact that he covered them in something called mumbo sauce,
which was a sauce that was popular in the South and was later brought over to the New England area by Young. Now, this sauce was a tomato-based sauce and was not particularly spicy like the buffalo sauce that we know today. Now, the mumbo sauce was sweet and closer to the modern-day barbecue sauce, and Young-specific mumbo sauce is actually still being bottled and sold today. Now, this sauce combined with Young's perfectly fried wings had later earned him the title of the King of Wings.
Okay, I am about, it looks like 27 wings in right now. I have 3 left in the third box, but I am out of my beverage right over here. And that means I need a refill. Cheers. Oh, yeah. That's going to help me get me through the last 13.
Now, the buffalo chicken wing as we know it today was invented by one Teresa Bellissimo in 1964, which is only 3 years after Young opened his restaurant in Buffalo. Now, Bellissimo ran an establishment with her husband, which was known as the Anchor Bar, also in Buffalo, New York. Now, there are actually 3 different stories on how Teresa had come to invent this wing, one coming from Teresa herself, another from her husband, and the last one from her son. Now, I won't get into each of these stories for the sake of time and the fact that none of them are particularly interesting, but the fact remains that this food that we know and love today was invented by Teresa. God bless her soul. Alright, so now we understand the history of buffalo wings and how they came to be. But what is buffalo sauce? I mean, we know what a wing is, but what's the buffalo sauce? Well, buffalo sauce is, at its most basic level, a sauce made out of a base of cayenne pepper-based hot sauce, melted butter, and vinegar. Other ingredients are very commonly added, such as garlic powder and Worcestershire sauce. And in the combination of all these ingredients in the perfect proportions, give us the buffalo sauce that we know and we very much so love today.
Okay. 39 wings in. I have 1 more to go. Each of these past 10 wings has been an absolute struggle to get down. It has been so difficult. I've been gagging almost after almost every bite. But nevertheless, this is not a lot of chicken. 1 more wing. Cheers. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 40 chicken wings. 40 chicken wings in 1 sitting. I feel fucking awful. I don't feel very good. Alright. Here's the graveyard. Oh, there it is. 40 chicken wings. Do you see how many bones there are? That's a lot of fucking bones. Now, the world record for chicken wings consumed in 1 sitting was set in 12 minutes by some dude whose name I can't remember right now. But he was able to eat. He was able to eat 267 wings in a span of 12 minutes. Now, 40 wings has me feeling absolutely awful. And he ate what? 6 times that amount, at least? That's, I don't know how that's possible, but that was 40 chicken wings. That was 40 buffalo wings. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to eat chicken for at least another week. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.